Welcome back. And if you're stopping by for the first time, welcome to a space where we talk about finding joy, choosing peace, and living life with intention. Today, we're talking about the space between wanting to do something and actually doing it. When your heart says yes, but your stomach says absolutely not. I like to call it the gap between intention and action. Join me for an honest conversation about fear, courage, and what actually happens when we stop waiting to feel ready. Come on.
It's the Don't Be a Miserable Cow podcast with your host, Lisa Marshall.
Natalie O'Brien is an artist and an art teacher with a surprising edge. She earned the Master of Fine Arts in Painting from Pratt Institute and has spent the last 20 years teaching art to elementary school students. She's married to her college sweetheart, James, and together they're raising two wonderful kids, Emma and Miles. Life for Natalie is a mix of family dinners, board games, and serving as board president of a small historical nonprofit. She somehow finds ways to pour herself into all of it. But here's where it gets surprising. Natalie has a quiet love for contact sports. What started with rugby in college eventually led to roller derby and later ice hockey. When she's not teaching, carpooling, or volunteering, you can often find her on the ice, shooting pucks and leaning into a very surprising kind of bravery. If you're looking for inspiration, stay tuned. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be on.
I know that this is way out of your comfort zone.
Super out of my comfort zone.
So thank you. Thank you for being vulnerable and brave and coming on the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's really quite an honor. And I was shocked by the invitation and very, very, very flattered.
Your story and your life are inspiring, and you're going to inspire people to be brave and do scary things. And I'm so excited to get into the roller derby stuff, your experiences in roller derby and ice hockey. But first, where I want to start is your childhood. You told me that you were painfully shy.
Oh, super shy. Like my life's goal was to be a wallflower. Yeah, it was kind of like just be under the radar, kind of, don't be noticed, play the good girl role part.
I do not see that in you. So do you still feel like you're painfully shy, or did something change throughout your lifetime?
I think I have a comfortableness with being the observer. I like observing people. I like listening to people. I like hearing people's stories. I mean, that's why I'm so flattered to be on your podcast, because I'm usually the one doing the listening, not the one sharing.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different, but and so not being in the spotlight, getting to, gathering information, like, just watching people. That's in my comfort zone.
Okay, there's a little bit of a conflict here because you're a teacher and you're in front of kids all day. What age group do you teach?
I teach in an elementary school. I teach art. So I see the entire school. I have 640 students that pass through my room during the week. And I call it a production because it is. It's, elementary school students are so fun. They're young. They're willing to be vulnerable. They're willing to be challenged most of the time.
Yeah.
And it is, it's a creative outlet. It's a creative space. And, we're kind of learning how to use visual imagery for expression. It's like learning a new language. That's what I'm telling them. They're learning a new language.
So you're not just an observer as a teacher. You're comfortable with the kids. But you told me that if it were adults, you would throw up.
100%.
Why? What's the difference?
I think that kids they're much more generous of spirit. They're just willing to be taken for a ride, so they come in and it's like, what are we going to do today? And there's just this openness. Their guard is down. Adults not all adults, but a lot of adults are guarded. They're looking for the ulterior motive. Maybe they're defensive. And kids are, for the most part, not. And so we can just have fun and like exploring who they are as people or but
I love that.
they're in for the ride. And so when I call it a production, I mean, even though I teach art, we sing, we dance, we, explore artwork
And so you're very expressive as a teacher.
yeah. I found my acting career, my gig through teaching because I feel like, it's not false. I'm not putting out false things, but I've kind of tapped into that extroverted side.
Improv.
Oh,
yeah.
100% improv. Yeah, because you don't know what material they're going to give you. And we just roll with it.
But you could never do that with adults.
It's harder.
What about your friends?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're friends and I see that side of you. So to learn that you're painfully shy or you would love to be a wallflower or an observer is pretty shocking to me. Yeah, because you're always part of the conversations. When we go camping or whatever we're doing, you're always part of the conversation. When you said yes to this podcast, what was happening inside? Because I asked you and you did not respond to my text.
It was
for
like
a little while.
Week later, maybe two. I think it was a week later, and you reached out again. And I mean, one thing that I try to be is very transparent. Like, I'm an open book. So I think I told you, I was like, okay, I have two conflicting feelings. My first reaction was, oh my gosh, absolutely not. Terror, fear, heart palpitations. Nope. And then the second was, okay, I'm going to have to do this because of that first feeling. And, I wanted to explore that. I know this is outside my comfort zone, but
that's your sweet spot, I feel like, because you've done a lot of things in your life that are outside your comfort zone. When did the fear of missing out become bigger than the fear of trying?
I'd say pretty early on. I mean, I want to say like I was painfully shy, like through elementary school, maybe middle school. But one thing that I've always had is a very good friend support network, and that's huge. And so by the time I was in high school, it was like, okay, I just want to try things. I want to do all the clubs, join badminton, try out for the theater, the play, the drama, the musical. And so I did go up on stage, I sang, and I mean, probably almost threw up. I mean, I was like, maybe one breath away from, but I think by the time I was in high school, I didn't want myself to limit myself. And so
when you were on stage, being a different character, did that help you?
I guess so. But
I guess so.
I don't even know. I wasn't selected for the play. So because I can't sing very well. I mean, it depends who you ask. See, my students would be generous. They would say, Miss O'Brien, she's a great singer. But, it's not like I've never done karaoke. It's not
girl.
My
No. No. Jonathan teased me for a month before my 60th birthday party that it was a karaoke party. And I was like, no, I will literally turn around and drive away and have a nice party.
Yeah. Good luck. Have fun.
Nope.
Good luck.
Not doing it.
We joke around. My daughter, who's now 15, I think she was 3 and got up to sing Frozen at like a little kid. They had karaoke for families. And Jimmy's like, oh, my husband, it's like, oh, yeah, your daughter did karaoke before you. So
good for her.
There's still, areas that I'm working on, but yeah, it's not so much the acting. It was the not letting the acting stop it or the singing on stage or being in front of, let me just try out. I wasn't so much invested in being in the play, but the experience of trying out.
And making yourself try new things.
Yeah.
And not letting fear paralyze you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving past that paralyzing moment. Because they're at the first, and it's not like it goes away either. Like there's that fear. Like driving over here, I was like, okay, just, it's okay. It's just a conversation, and it's not like it goes away or the fear completely subsides, but it's kind of just pushing through it because it's so much better on the other side. It's worth it.
Like I did that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself.
Done.
I was brave.
For better, for worse, it happened. I did it, and I didn't stop myself from doing it.
And you didn't throw up yet.
And I didn't throw up yet. There's still time. I'm kidding.
Let's talk about roller derby. The first time I heard that you were a player, what's the right?
Yeah, a player. I was in a team.
We were camping and you said, yeah, roller derby. And I was like, wait, what? First of all, I didn't realize that was an actual thing. I remember watching it on TV with my parents when I was a kid, and I thought it was so badass, right? And then I found out, okay, you just need to tell me everything about roller derby. First of all, how did roller derby enter your life?
So I had just had my first child. I have 2 kids. Emma was born and she was an infant. And there was this, she's probably like a little over a year where like all of my time was just focused on her. Or if I wasn't with her, then it was working full time. But any sense of time for just me had been completely snuffed out.
Yeah.
And so I was feeling the weight of that. And I just wanted to carve out just like something that was my own. And kind of looking for that, what shape was that going to take? What was I going to pursue without, I wanted to fit into my life. And my husband's the one who actually brought it up. He had heard about it and was like, oh, that there's a roller derby team. And, I completely dismissed him. I laughed it off. I was like, ha 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 ha, I can't even roller skate.
Like karaoke.
like very funny. Yeah. Me roller derby in the same sentence. It didn't really make sense. Not all the time, but a lot of the times when I come to that, it's like, well, why not? There's always like this question, why not? Like, why is that my first, response or initial response? And I like to dig a little deeper. Like, well,
what are you afraid of?
What am I resisting?
Yeah, maybe it's not fear. Maybe it's just resistance. Yeah.
But the fear is real. Fear is definitely part of it also.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, okay, there's a practice, right after work gets out, next month, like for new players, people who are interested, I'm going to go. I'm only committing to the one time, but.
And I'm just observing.
Well, no, they make you put on skates. I didn't know what to expect. And I actually showed up on the wrong night. I showed up 2 days before and the team was there and they were practicing and they're like, no, the new beginner clinic, whatever, is Thursday. So come back Thursday and, just make sure you're ready to practice. And I was like, yeah, but I don't know how to skate. And they're like, yeah, just be ready to skate. Okay.
Between now and then, learn.
Well, it was like you'll learn by skating. You learn to skate while you're on the track and doing drills. And that's what it was. Like my first practice was, okay, go to the skate rental, put on these brownie skates, and then get out there. And it was like, okay,
what are brownie skates?
The rentals, they're all brown with the orange wheels, like the typical iconic roller skate that every roller skating place has.
Right.
So
how was that practice?
It was awful. It was so awful. I mean, I think I was more on the floor than I was standing up. They just throw you in there. There's a drill. Pardon my French. Build a bitch.
Okay.
So they just threw you out there and you have to push. You're in a line with 5 other women and you have to push them for a lap and then you fall off, go to the front, and then the next person pushes the entire line. And so you're digging. I could barely stand and I'm trying to do this. And then even when I'm not pushing, I'm standing there wobbling and they're kind of trying to hold me in place. And they literally just throw you out there. But there's skills that you have to, it's not like you're playing a game. It's not, you don't enter about. About is what you call the game.
Okay.
And so there's 3 levels, and it's very organized. There's, it's sanctioned by this governing body, and that you have to meet certain criteria before you advance. So what sold me, though, was that you got to pick a roller derby name. Once you passed your level 3s, you got to officially pick a roller derby name.
What?
And that was the selling point.
What was your roller derby name?
Fearless Nightingale.
Love that.
So
how did you pick it?
There used to be like a database of roller derby names from like the entire, not world, but country. And so you could not duplicate a name. And there are all these like artsy names that I really wanted that were already taken. And then I was thinking, I really want the word fearless in it. Yeah. Like I want that to be my mantra. And I need the word fearless. And then I have a thing for birds. Like just, I just found a bird's nest the other day. And that's usually that's like a sign from the world that like I
didn't know that we had that in common. I'm a huge bird fan too.
Yeah.
So after your first practice, how did you feel? You're going out to your car.
Oh,
you're taking off the skates and you're like, I'm a badass.
I was like, I'm coming back on Monday. Because they're like, oh, are you going to come back? I was like, yes, sign me up. I'm in it. Sold.
That's amazing.
It was something I had never done. I was being pushed to like the, brink, and I loved it. So
let's go back to something you said, level 1, 2, and 3. Tell me more about that.
So once you join, there's, you're working with, most roller derby teams are kind of these self-made teams. You elect a president, a vice president, you have your executive kind of committee, you have your treasurer that collects dues, and then you also vote in, fellow players to be your coaching and training.
Okay.
And so they make up all the practices, the schedule, and, you'll have a couple of players who take over the newbies. And so with that, for level 1, you're trying to, skate in a circle, stand upright and just skate. And then you start working on crossovers and you start working on stopping.
Until it's second nature, because you're not there to skate. You're there to play a game on skates. Play a game, is that right?
Yeah. Play a game. A game is called About.
Okay.
Because it's intense. So, but you're not doing any of that. You're not even allowed to scrimmage until you pass your level 2. So you have to have some proficiency. You're not just throwing anyone out into a bout because, you want to prevent injuries
hurt.
And yeah.
Right. Okay, so then level 2 is
more skills. Now you're is it transitions, front to back to front, dominant leg, non-dominant leg, being able to, I don't even know, sprint, do 25 laps in 5 minutes. There's just a list of things that you have to pass to show that you're proficient enough on your skates where now you can engage in a game.
Okay.
And so then that's a whole other ballgame because now you're learning strategies and there's different positioning and then there's different plays that you can make. And yeah, it becomes all encompassing.
And there you are. Now you've learned to skate, which you didn't know. And now you've learned the rules of the game, which you didn't know. Mm-hmm. And now you're badass and you're ready to play.
Yeah. So I tried out and I made the B team my first year. And I told my family that I'm doing this just for fun. And I did that for about 5 years where I played on the B team. I was one of the jammers and...
Okay, I need a pause. Tell me, what are the rules? What's the objective of About?
Okay, so...
How many players are there? What was your position? Lots of questions.
Okay, so About you have 2 teams and each team throws or, selects 5 players to go in for a 2-minute jam.
Okay.
So a 30-minute period, About is 2 30-minute periods.
Okay.
And then that 30-minute period is broken up into 2-minute jams.
Okay.
And if I were to compare it to hockey, it's a shift.
Okay.
You have 5 players go onto the ice, they come off, the next 5 go on.
Right.
So 5 women go out onto the track, it's flat track. There's no banked tracks in the area, but all the local teams are all flat track. So you have 5 players that go out onto the track, and 4 are blockers, and you have 1 jammer from each team.
What's a jammer do?
So there are 2 jammers, 1 from each team, and they are racing around the track, essentially. They're racing around the track, and the way they score points is every time they pass an opposing player, they score a point.
Okay.
So they're passing the blockers, 1, 2, 3, 4. They pass the jammer, that's a 5th point. And so every time they lap, they're scoring points.
Okay.
Now you have 4 blockers from each team. So there's 8 women out on the track. Your players are trying to help you through. So they can help the jammer, they can pull her through, whip her past, or they can block the opposing jammer.
And you were a jammer.
I was a jammer for
no doubt. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're a small woman.
There's a lot of juking, a lot of maneuvering, squeezing past, and
And I bet you were speedy and agile.
I tried to be. I think I became fairly speedy, fairly agile. I mean, you have to be. Otherwise, you're getting knocked out, knocked down, because that's what the opposing blockers are doing. So
tell me about your first bout. Were you nervous? Of course you were nervous. Did you throw up?
I did not throw up by the grace of God. But it was all the feelings. It was like, oh my gosh, wait, am I ready for this? I don't know if I'm ready. Although by that point, because you have weekly scrimmages. And so Sunday nights were scrimmage nights. So, I mean, you go into a bout, like you've already scrimmaged your butt off. So like by the time you get to a bout, you're kind of ready.
Yeah.
But now you have a crowd, you're selling tickets and you have a crowd and people are cheering and yeah, and you have, your referees and everything. So, stakes are a little bit higher, but but that adrenaline, that rush, and it's it's a team sport, so there's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of support, and you're not doing it alone.
Right. And who was there to support you, to watch you at your first bout?
My husband made most of my games. We had 2 young children at the time, like when I started. So, it was
and
finding a babysitter. And
how did it feel having him in the audience?
I mean, he's my biggest cheerleader, supporter. So I think that's what makes it possible also. I mean, back to that support structure. You need that support structure. So, I feel like I always have a cheerleader in my corner, and that even if something fails, even if it doesn't work out, it's okay.
What did it require mentally?
That was the shift, I want to say. Like, even though like I that fear of missing out or, not letting myself stop myself, that was the first time where I was like, wow, like I'm strong. I'm probably the strongest that I've ever been physically, even though like, I like I've always played sports, but like it was the first time that I really truly felt like an athlete. Which is funny because I played sport, like I played rugby in college, I swam and played badminton and tennis in high school, but
rugby
this was like
rugby and roller derby and ice hockey, badass.
College is when I found my penchant for contact sports because I didn't know what rugby was either, and that was like, what is this? Okay, let me just try it. Man, that was interesting. That was another sport
rugby.
Yeah. And I think
I don't know anything about rugby either. Contact though.
Contact, full contact, like roller derby. I mean, and then that's another thing. I mean, like you just, oh, look, new bruises. Look, I didn't know a bruise could be that color. But
did you ever experience any, major injuries?
Yes. It's the thing that ended my roller derby career.
Tell us about that.
So I guess 5 years in, and, I realized I wasn't being completely honest with myself. Like, I was like, oh, I'm doing this for fun. But I was taking it way more seriously. It had way more of an impact and influence in my life than I was being honest about.
Okay. In what ways?
I wasn't doing it for fun. Like it really, like that feeling of being an athlete, of it making me mentally, physically stronger.
The competitiveness, I imagine.
The competitiveness. before then, I would have thought that, I would say that I'm not a super competitive person because when it comes to, I don't know, work or, like I take pride in my work. I think, invest a lot of time and energy and I'm the best that I can be. I'm comfortable with what I'm able to put in. Like I put all of myself in and I don't need to compare myself to others. But there is a competitiveness. I am a competitive person. And that really comes out with sports. And it's like a safe place for me to be really competitive.
And so you loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the injury.
So I tried out for the A team. Like I was honest with my husband. I was like, okay. And he's like, well, that's more travel and this and what. And I was like, well, I will, rearrange certain things in my life to make more time for that. So I'm not taking away time for my family. And I will make it work. And so I tried out for the A team and skated competitively. It's not like I'm making money doing it. I'm not a professional, but
it's not about the money.
It was a whole other level. It was like
pride.
Yeah.
I did it. I'm doing it.
And I'm taking this seriously. Like I'm not saying, oh, I'm doing this for fun. Oh, I play roller derby. Haha. No. I'm serious about it. And,
take us to the day of the injury. What happened? Play by play.
It was Mother's Day weekend. Go figure. But it was Saturday. I was like, oh, I'll be back by Sunday. And
oh, you were away.
I was away.
Okay.
It was, 2 hours somewhere in Massachusetts. And I left with the team and super excited. I mean, this was my first tournament with my new team. And it was very competitive. We played some high-ranking teams that were tough. I mean, there were teams from Vermont, New Hampshire, North Carolina, like all over. And so we were in our second game, and I was in as jammer for like the first period, and I could not get past. I just could not get past. Like it was like a fortified wall of blockers that I just could not advance. So our coach put me in as a blocker for the second period.
Had you played that position before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, scrimmaging, you're learning all the rules. Okay. You're playing all the positions because you never know. Like there just might be a team that you are better fit for another position. So I get pulled in as a blocker. And, totally fine, doing great. And then I want to say halfway through the second period, me and the other blockers, is me and another, we knock the opposing jammer out of bounds. Mm-hmm. And so if you get thrown out of bounds, checked out of bounds, and again, it's all legal hits. Like there was like the theatrical roller derby of like the 70s and 80s.
Yes, that's what I watched.
Track and people are dressed up. They're still dressing up, but and people are throwing chairs. And, it's kind of like this entertainment factor. It's gotten to a point where it's the serious roller derby people take it very serious. It's like, let's make this an Olympic sport because there's, all these very specific rules that are constantly being updated to maintain the integrity of the game. And so here we are, we knocked the jammer out. And if you get knocked out of bounds, you have to re-enter behind the person who knocks you out.
Okay.
And it's like it's drilled into you. You knock somebody out, you turn around, you start skating against the flow of traffic backwards because you want to draw that jammer as far back as possible.
Okay.
There's an opposing blocker there. I'm still skating. I didn't see the person behind her, and she came out of nowhere. She was, not even in my peripheral vision, hits me. It's actually on YouTube. My injury was live streamed, so I got to watch it.
Oh, we will link that so people can watch it.
So, yeah, she checked me from the side. The way I fell, my leg went up and kind of wobble down. And then, the live stream goes into a timeout, a pause because the ambulance was called. I mean, it was...
Did you land on your leg? Was it your
No,
leg?
I landed on my side.
Okay.
And when I looked down at my leg, it was very visibly broken. So I broke my tibia, and there was just like a little bump where my shin is, where the break was, because it wasn't protruding through the skin, but it was definitely protruding. And then I also broke my tibia. And so it was like a spiral break where
That's horrific.
it was horrific. And
painful.
Yeah. And after watching, people get injured, it wasn't a fear of mine. Although, who wants to be injured? It was, there was always that possibility.
Not me.
But it was kind of like I'm
it's not going to happen to me. Yeah.
And I think I was in shock because it was painful, but not that painful. Because I remember laying there.
I wonder if it was adrenaline, though.
It was 100%
yeah.
adrenaline. And just shock of the situation. And so, the way I landed, there's chairs right there and people watching. The audience is right there.
So you were shrinking, so
here I
now
am.
I'm really the center of attention.
My team came in and, they kind of got me a sweatshirt. So I'm laying there and then, paramedics came and I didn't even know where I was. I remember being on the ambulance and be like, what town am I in? I don't even know what to tell I don't even know where I am. And, and then had to have emergency surgery on Mother's Day. So they had to lift up my kneecap, put in a titanium rod and 2 screws. So now I tell my students I'm part bionic.
And you make the metal detector go off in the airport.
Titanium doesn't do that. Oh. That was my first question was, oh, great. This is going to be such a hassle. Will I be going in and out of store? And they're like, no. Titanium doesn't set off metal detectors.
Okay.
Okay. So
that was your last game.
That was my last game.
Bout.
That was my last bout. And it was hard. I did not know it was going to be my last bout because in my head for I don't know how long, it was, okay, I'm going to start back up.
Sure.
In the hospital, the next day, they have you going up and down stairs and, so I'm in this cast, I have this wound and, but okay, I was also in the best shape of my life. It was practice 3 days a week, bouts on weekends, not every weekend, but, and practices, I've never sweat so much. The adrenaline, the endorphins. It was
there's a high that comes along with that.
There is a high that comes along with
it. I can imagine you in your car on your way home feeling so high.
Yeah.
And energized.
But euphoric.
Mm-hmm.
And it was palpable. I was I can do anything. I'm strong enough that I can do anything. Not within reason, but I was I'm the best that I can be.
How did you make the decision not to go back to roller derby?
Recovery took way longer than I expected. In the hospital, I heard you're going to start, PT in 6 weeks. So in my head, I was like, okay, 6 weeks I start PT. So what, another 2 weeks and then I'm skating again? And there were lots of players who, had injuries and come back from injuries. This was probably the most significant.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was like, okay, tryouts are in November. I just need to be ready for tryouts. So, if it takes 12 weeks, that's fine. As long as I'm back and, back and skating and I'm ready for tryouts. That fall was probably the hardest because I think I associated a lot of the strength that I was getting from roller derby. It was helping me grow, but it was what do I do without roller derby?
Right.
Am I still a badass without it? I don't know.
So it messed with your identity.
Oh, huge.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was surprised. I was like, okay. But yeah.
And how did you deal with that internally?
It took time. 100% it took time. I think I had a significant limp and did physical therapy for about 6 months and then a significant limp for the first year. Because it was June of the following year and I had coworkers who were like, oh, you're still limping. I'm like, no shit. I know.
Thanks for noticing. Yeah, I didn't realize that I was limping.
Yeah. And it was just a natural oh, you're still limping.
Yep, still limping.
Stop bringing that up. I am working on it. It was so hard to hear. And And then like year 2 is when like the limp finally subsided. My foot and leg didn't feel foreign. Like there was like a lot of like nerve damage and
Oh
some
my
muscle
word.
issues. So,
Do you have any regrets?
no, 100% no.
Yeah.
No regrets. I mean, like, I'm not out there to get bruises and hurt my body, but
Right.
I mean, my body is here to live and to do things and to get pushed, you know, like there's no, there's no, not even like, well, I'm going to call it a personal reward, you know, like
Yeah.
there's no personal reward without pushing yourself
Right. I
mentally,
agree.
physically, you know, it's
The hardest things are the most rewarding.
the hardest things are the most rewarding. And I feel like comfort is such a false sense of security. Comfort is so dangerous. It
There's
really
no
is.
growth.
There's no growth.
If
It's
you just stay,
stagnation, and
yeah.
that just if there's anything that just makes my skin crawl is just that idea of like stagnation and just kind of
So,
status quo. And yeah,
so now you've healed. You've lost the limp.
finally.
And when did the desire to do something to fill that void come back?
So, you know, it kind of redefining what that is. I think that was the first step. I mean, like the public speaking thing, coming back, you know, to that. The focus was more on that. I knew that I'd come to terms that it was going to take me longer to heal. And I also don't want to re-injure. And so I wanted to make sure that I was in a place where, you know, when I finally committed to a new sport or a new physical activity,
Yeah.
that it was something that my body can handle. But that doesn't mean that I wasn't walking, stretching, doing things along the way. Because that's a non-negotiable.
Mhm.
Finding the same
Badass outlet.
push, yeah, you know, making sure that I, you know, wasn't stagnating. There's some things that I did professionally, and personally, and like some, you know, with work, speaking at a conference that, you know,
That
it's
is
a
scary.
national
That's
conference.
very
It was
scary.
very scary. It was very scary.
Yes.
And I had so much fun. I had so much fun. And, you know, it's need to consider that again, but
I find that when you're speaking, it's scary because you're in front of everybody and you're afraid to be judged.
yeah.
But did you feel once you got speaking, you're talking about something that you're passionate about and you're talking to people who are interested.
And
So you're
invested.
invested. And so you're the expert up there teaching someone and you teach children. So
Yeah.
did you feel more comfortable after you got going and there was a flow?
Yes, because, you know, you're making eye contact with people and, you know,
You're getting that feedback,
You're
whether
getting
they're
that-
nodding or
yeah.
smiling or
Yeah. And even not like there's an engagement. There's something there, you know, I don't know. There's something there where, you know, you're getting confirmation, and sometimes we put up like the, you know, project our insecurities or kind of assume the worst. And, you know, like people are, I mean, you're going to have people who, everyone has their bag of stuff, right? But I think people are way more gracious and forgiving, and
it's the self-talk.
it's the self-talk.
We're harder on ourselves than anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would they want to listen to me? Oh, what if I stumble? And then you start talking. You're like, no, I'm just talking to people. And then people are receptive, and
Yes.
and you're like, oh,
What was I so worried about?
why? Yeah.
How did hockey come into the picture?
So hockey came a bit later. I would want to say maybe 2 years ago. There was a group of hockey moms. My son plays hockey. My husband played hockey. And it's something that, you know, my husband had brought up in the past. He's like, what about hockey? And it's kind of like, okay, not yet. You know, like I'm doing this. And then timing wise, it just kind of fit. And I felt, you know, fully recovered, ready to like step into something new. I was considering maybe I should ref roller derby. You know, you're skating around, you're not on the track, but you know, you're kind of an auxiliary member. But it doesn't have that same competitive edge that I really enjoy in sports. So, so there was a hockey team forming, and it was kind of like, okay, everyone's starting at square one. Like, you're learning how to skate, you're learning rules of the game, and it was like a perfect entry point.
Yeah.
So that's how I got involved. And it was about 2.5 years ago. And yeah, different learning curve. I mean, here I thought, like, I know how to skate. I can do anything on skates. I can do anything on roller skates. Ice skates are
Totally different.
Totally different. Totally different. I mean, the mechanics of, everything is different. But again, it's a challenge. It's, you're learning, you're growing, you're doing something new.
What feels different from Derby?
Well, one thing, it's non-contact, which is for the best. Although, we had like a little scrimmage the other day, and I got like a little pushback, and I was like, oh, I missed that. Oh, I forgot what that. I can push back. We're not shoving, we're not, there's no checking, but it's like standing your ground. And sometimes you need that reminder, like stand your ground. And,
Did
on the ice, but in the world,
Yes, it's confidence. You can do this. You can do scary things.
You can do scary things. You can take up space. You can stand your ground.
Were you scared to start playing hockey after your injury?
It was always in the back of my head, because it was such a significant injury, and it did impact my life, my family's life, that, I really, it was a decision. Like, if I had been considering roller derby and, kind of wavering, that was pushing myself, but, also being safe. And because I had, injured myself before, I didn't want to re-injure. And so, non-contact sport, I'm learning, I'm starting from scratch. Hopefully some of the mechanics are similar, like the skating, but then also the camaraderie, the group dynamic of the sport is
and everyone's
fun.
Starting at the same point. I feel like it's supportive, it's a community.
It's a community.
And you don't have to feel as though I'm not as good as they are. Whatever. Everybody's starting at the same spot.
Yeah.
So
you're always going to have people who are better, and that's okay. That's not a reason. Like, the reason why they got to the better spot is because they persevered not being good.
Yes. And you know what? I love to surround myself with people that are better at something than I am, because then I can grow and I can learn from them.
That happened with roller derby, like just kind of plateauing at the B level, and then once you start skating with the A players, like, oh no, you thought you were, no. And now you're pushing yourself to a whole other level. And,
that's so challenging and fun.
And even like, ice skating and, playing hockey with people who, are really good. It's like, wow, what a show. Oh my God. It's inspiring. It's inspiring.
It's inspiring.
And, you're on the ice with them. So.
Yeah. And you're inspiring. So for people who aren't as brave as you, your inner dialogue is, oh my, roller derby, what? Ice hockey, what? Speaking in public, what? Going on a podcast, what? Right? So that's your knee-jerk reaction. So what's the inner dialogue that actually gets you from the starting line to actually moving?
The why not? Why not? And exploring that, like really, like exploring that question. What is stopping me? What would happen if I did?
Right.
Yeah.
Throwing up, that's the worst. Well,
and it hasn't ever happened. As much as, I think it might, or, or like, the nerves kind of get you. It hasn't happened. And if that's the worst, okay. And then what?
Right. And then on the other side of it, you can say, I did that. Yeah. I challenged myself. I grew. I learned something new. And now I can say I did that.
Yeah.
And I'd be proud of myself.
And you develop these skills and these like facets of yourself that you didn't even realize were there or needed growing.
Do you think you wait for the confidence, or do you move before you're confident?
100% before you're confident.
Yeah.
Because it comes with the growing.
Yeah.
You can't, just like life, you can't wait to, grow up to do the things or to be the perfect person to do no, I mean, so life is on the job training, right? So
you can't wait for the fear to subside. You have to do it while you're afraid.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
adrenaline. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a healthy component to fear also.
Yes.
There's an unhealthy component to fear, too much, too little, you're screwed. I mean, it's definitely a protective mechanism. So
That's
too
a really
little,
good point.
you be reckless, but then, the flip side of it is too much and you're not growing. You're always in that comfort zone.
And there's no growth there.
There's no growth. There's no fun there. There's
Right.
no adventure there. Like that's the adventure is you don't know what's going to be on the other side of it.
Let's talk about your family, your support system, and also what an example you're setting for your kids and everyone in your life. And now our audience. So let's talk about Jimmy, your husband. Tell me about Jimmy.
So Jimmy's the extrovert of the two of us. Back to that observing and watching. It's fun to watch Jimmy. I mean,
he's
Jimmy,
mad scientist.
He's mad scientist, but he is like social butterfly mad scientist. Like put those two together.
Yeah.
Mad scientist, you think awkward, and Jimmy thrives. Like he needs people. He needs connection. And he's a very vibrant person. And he's a doer. And I'm thinking about like our life. Like there's just, okay, he's doing this, I'm trying this. And, it kind of like, we kind of feed each other, like, because we're constantly like bringing something.
And support and encourage.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's so important because sometimes that's all you need is just a little push.
A little nudge,
or
a little
suggestion.
push, or like, hey, did you notice blah, blah, blah? Just, as self-aware as we think we are, sometimes like everyone has blind spots. So, it's like
certainly
helping each other with each other's blind spots too. Like, did you notice this? Well, why are you doing, why are you shrinking back from that? Blah, blah, blah. Why are you all in on this? Is it worth your time? Is it worth your, so like kind of like that checks and balances.
Tell us about the kids.
That's, I mean, by far, like best adventure, funnest part of my life is watching them grow. And I know every parent says that, but, there's so many, Jimmy and I always say, like, it's funny the things that they pick up from us.
Yes, that's where I want to go.
And the things that they don't pick up from us, and, like facets that we have not, don't think we're sharing that, are come out in them and things that we push them towards. So one thing that like me and Jimmy actively try not to do is limiting beliefs, ideas. Like I think my kids would be shocked and surprised that I have such a fear of, public speaking or,
When the kids want to do something uncomfortable or they're faced with a decision to do something uncomfortable or not, what's your instinct for them? Do you feel like, oh my gosh?
No, I mean, I marvel that that's what they haven't picked up on. Like my daughter and my son will get up on stage, we get a lot of like, oh, they're mini yous, my son is a mini Jimmy.
Yes.
My daughter is a mini Natalie, but they are not us. And they don't have the same reservations, the same fears, the same whatever. And Emma's quiet. She's an observer, but she is not me. I mean, she has no reservations getting up in front of people, public speaking. There is not it's so interesting to watch.
Do you think that your examples give them permission to be brave?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And, like as they've gotten older and as I do, like voicing those concerns, or voicing those fears, like, oh gosh, like I'm going into this thing that I signed up for. okay, like I have to push myself past it. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. And that's the conversations that we're having, like they're seeing me go through things and
Jimmy go through things.
And Jimmy go through things. And, and then, they have the safety net, the support, the foundation where, okay, what's the worst that can happen? You fail? Okay. Sun's still shining.
How
you
did
come home to us and all is well.
You told me a story about Emma, and she published a book without your knowledge.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Or she sent it off to a publisher,
sent it off,
and you had no idea.
Yeah.
Share a little bit about that.
When she was 7, she decided she was going to become an author, and her life's mission was to get published by the time she was 10.
What?
And it's something,
My kids were still picking gum out of their hair.
There's that too. But I mean, she has this drive in her, and I mean, it didn't happen. And I kind of regret that I didn't help her along. But at the same time, like, she's taken so much initiative, and it was in middle school where, all of a sudden, like 7th and 8th grade. She's in 9th grade now, but 7th and 8th grade, she was sending stuff off. She was writing and sending stuff off to publishers.
That's remarkable.
And she had a manuscript and And it was like, wait, you did what? Wait, I didn't even read it. And, she likes to keep things private and won't share until, the piece is finished. And, then we're allowed to read it. But I mean, I marvel at that because she doesn't ask for permission, and she just does.
She's fearless like you.
She's fearless.
Yeah.
She's fearless. And Miles is fearless also.
Yeah, and Miles plays hockey.
Yeah.
So he's fearless too.
He has, yeah. That's where I'm like, like my mom instinct. I'm like, no, I just need, and so I don't share that with him. It's like, okay, like, go skate hard, play hard, have fun.
And you were a completely different child because you were so painfully shy.
Definitely a different kid.
What would that little girl think of you today?
Well, I think back, it's like, oh, I'm still the same person, right?
Yeah.
You have a birthday, you have this, and you're like, how old am I again? But you're always the same person. Like, I'm still the 6-year-old or the 10-year-old or the 20-year-old or the 35-year-old.
I'm so inspired by everything that you've done and continue to do. I can't wait to see what's next with you. I know that you've inspired a ton of people today. Thank you so, so, so much for being here. I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm grateful to you. And thank you for being an inspiration to so many, because you are.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's it for today. Do you know someone who would be inspired by this conversation? Please share it with them. You could be the support that they need. And remember, we all have a choice. Choose joy, choose peace, and don't be a miserable cow. That's it for today. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for spending this time with us on the Don't Be a Miserable Cow podcast with your host, Lisa Marshall. If you're looking for a little more guidance or encouragement, you can find Lisa's books, Find Joy, No Regrets, and Oh, Hello, Alzheimer's. And if you'd like to support the show or learn more about Lisa and her guests, visit us at joywithlisa.com.